Hello peeps, on today's video, I wanted to show you how to increase the credit limit on your credit cards. The question everybody wants an answer to will be revealed in the simplest way possible in this video, so make sure to watch all the way until the end. So first off, what is a credit limit? A credit limit is the maximum amount of money that you can charge on a credit card. For example, as you can see on the screen, my credit limit for my Apple Card is $17,500. This means that the max that I can spend on that card is $17,500. Easy, right? Now there's a bunch of reasons why increasing your credit limit is important. It not only helps increase your credit score, but it also lowers your credit utilization, gives you access to a higher amount of money in case of an emergency, and other reasons, which is why so many people are always looking for ways to get a credit limit increase. So today I'm going to be giving you guys all the tips and tricks that I've used to go from a $300 credit limit to now having over $48,000 in available credit. And that's not including another $26,000 that hasn't yet been added to my credit report, which would put my total available credit at $74,000. Now in my experience, increasing my credit limit on all my credit cards has definitely helped boost my credit score all the way up to a 776 credit score, which is almost an excellent credit score. So let's get right into why getting a credit limit increase matters and how to easily increase your credit limit on all your credit cards. Now, like I mentioned earlier, increasing your credit limit is good for your credit score because it lowers your overall credit utilization. Your credit utilization is the total balance on all your credit cards divided by your total credit limit. For example, if you have two credit cards each with a $500 credit limit and you owe a total of $400 on both cards, your credit utilization would be 40%. Now, credit utilization is important because it makes up 30% of your credit score, and it's something that credit reporting agencies definitely pay attention to. It indicates how well you manage your finances. So ideally, you want your utilization to be as low as possible, and the general rule of thumb here has been to never allow your utilization to exceed 30%. But if you want an excellent credit score, then you should keep that number under 10%. The lower your utilization is, the better it's going to be for your credit score because it'll show that you can manage your available credit without a problem, which can in return increase your credit score and put you in a spot where financial institutions will want to offer you even more money and credit. Now, there are a couple ways to lower your credit utilization. You can either pay down your credit card balances, spend less on your credit cards, open a new credit card, or simply get a credit limit increase, which is my favorite. Getting a credit limit increase will not only allow you to spend the same amount of money that you did before, but it'll also lower your credit utilization and boost your credit scores. Let me show you how. So when you get a credit limit increase and you continue to spend the same amount of money that you did before, something magical happens because you can continue to spend the same amount, but your credit utilization will go down, all because your credit limit went up. For example, if you have a credit card with a $1,000 credit limit and a $500 balance, that'll put your credit utilization at 50%, which is no bueno. But now, if your credit limit went from $1,000 to $5,000 and you continue to spend the same $500, then your credit utilization would go from 50% to only 10%, which is awesome. So as you can see, by just increasing your credit limit, your credit utilization went down without you needing to cut back on spending. And as time goes by, adding new credit cards will come with new credit limits, which will help lower your credit utilization even more and give you the ability to spend a little more if you like. Now, having said that, it's extremely important to never spend more than what you can afford, even though your credit limits rise. I mean, the last thing that we want is to spend at the rate of our limits and end up in unnecessary debt. Getting an increase should be for the purpose of helping your credit score, lowering your utilization, and getting access to a little more money in case of an emergency. It should not be for spending recklessly. So now that we're all on the same page, let me show you how to exactly get a credit limit increase on all your credit cards today. The first thing you can do to get a credit limit increase is to ask your credit card issuer for a credit limit increase, either online or by phone, but this may vary depending on your card issuer. Some issuers allow you to request a credit limit increase online, either through their website or their mobile app, by simply logging into your account and answering a couple questions. Now, something to keep in mind is that credit card issuers determine your credit limit by looking at your credit score, payment history, income, credit utilization, large expenses, and other factors. So having all of that in good standing will definitely help boost your odds of getting a credit limit increase. Another thing to keep in mind is that a hard pull may or may not be done when you request a credit limit increase. This is something that also varies by issuer, but it's something to be aware of before asking for an increase. A simple Google search can help you with them, or you can simply call customer service and ask if getting a credit limit increase results in a hard pull or a soft pull for that credit card. Now, for those who aren't familiar, a hard pull is when a creditor looks at your credit file to determine how much risk you pose as a borrower. This will in return show up on your credit report and definitely affect your credit score by a couple points temporarily, which is why it's important to know whether asking for a credit limit increase will result in a hard pull or a soft pull. On the other hand, a soft pull does not affect your credit score whatsoever. So if you're thinking of increasing your credit limit, then choosing to increase your limit from issuers that only do a soft pull would be the best option, unless you don't mind that hard pull, which I highly doubt. Now, some tips to boost your chances of getting a credit limit increase are to make on-time payments, pay your balances off in full before the due date every single month, maintain a good credit score, and simply wait. Some people sign up for a credit card and immediately dive into asking for a credit limit increase. The reason why most of the time this is not going to work out is because if you get a new credit card and you haven't used that card much, then this shows the card issuer that you're barely using your current credit limit to begin with, so it wouldn't make sense for them to increase your current limit. Therefore, it's important to wait and establish some history with the credit card company before jumping into asking for a credit limit increase. Now, I usually wait about 3 to 6 months before asking for a credit limit increase on a new credit card, and I almost always get the increases that I ask for, so feel free to use this method if you like, not financial advice. Now, for the issuers who don't allow you to request an increase online, you're gonna need to call customer service to ask for an increase. You can find the customer service number in the back of your credit card. When you call, they're gonna ask you to provide information like your annual income, employment status, mortgage or rent payments, and sometimes they'll even ask you why you want an increase and how much of an increase you want on your card. Now, it's important to gather your thoughts and have all the information they need from you ready, especially if they ask how much of an increase you want and why. Now, if they grant you an increase, that's awesome, but if they don't, you can simply bring up your history of on-time payments, frequent and responsible use of the card, your credit score, and even increase of income if it applies to you. If by then they still refuse to give you an increase, ask them why they aren't able to do so at the moment, and based on the information that they provide you, you can then work on increasing your chances of approval for the next time you ask for an increase. But please remember that credit card issuers want to see that you use your credit cards responsibly, that you make on-time payments, that you have good credit, and that you never miss payments. So if you barely use a credit card and you're constantly making late payments, then you're most likely not going to get approved for a credit limit increase. So it'd be a good idea to work on that before asking for one. Now, the second thing you can do to get a credit limit increase, and how I was able to get my total credit limit to over $48,000, was by applying for new credit cards. Each time you apply for a new credit card, that credit card comes with its own credit limit that adds up to your overall credit limit among all your credit cards. For example, if you have a credit card with a $2,000 credit limit and you get approved for a new card with a $4,000 limit, that would put your overall credit limit among all your cards as $6,000, which means that by getting a new credit card, you instantly increased your $2,000 overall credit limit to $6,000. On top of that, your credit utilization, which accounts for 30% of your credit score, will go down, and in return, your credit score will go up, so it's a win-win. In addition to that, applying for a new credit card will come with perks such as welcome bonuses, rewards, benefits, and a much higher credit limit than you would get from a credit limit increase on a credit card that you already own, which is why I'm such a huge fan of this method. Having said that, it's highly important to actually like and want the new credit cards you're applying for, instead of just getting them for the sole purpose of increasing your total credit limit. I mean, it wouldn't make sense to open up a bunch of credit cards just to increase your credit limit. In my case, I'm always okay with doing this because I apply for credit cards that I personally like and that I know that I'll be using. I mean, the fact that I can get to increase my overall credit limit, lower my utilization, plus increase my overall credit score, and so much more makes this method extremely worth it for me. And the way that I see it is that the more credit cards I have available to me, the more credit limit increases I can also ask for every 3 to 6 months. Now, there are downfalls to applying for too many credit cards, so please do your own due diligence and work with your own situation. Again, this is not financial advice. These are just methods that I've personally used to get my credit limit from $300 to now over $48,000 and counting. Anyways, you guys, that's gonna be the end of today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, hug the like button, subscribe, turn on those post notifications, that way you don't miss out on any future uploads, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.